Alright guys, it's finally time. We now have a big whiff lag patch in Multiversus Season 2.2. In this video, we're going to discuss the changes and how they affect the meta and all of that cool stuff. Let's get right into it. Alright, here are the patch notes for Season 2.2. It's basically the entire whiff recovery patch. The first pass at it, as they say here, they want to make more powerful attacks, more committal, and give the opponent larger window to punish. That's basically the TLDR of this section. They want moves with great power to have high cost, whether that be a cooldown or commitment, and the game should not play differently if you land your attack. They don't want to encourage extremely passive gameplay or encourage it, but this will be a work in progress, and we need to give them feedback for anything we have regarding with like stuff. 1v1s at the top level right now is just really bland because of things like this. Like, we don't have a lot of committal options, things that force you to commit. There's not really a neutral game, right, in top level ones. It's just really bland, campy, throw out big moves and then dodge instantly right out of them. Not healthy gameplay, but it is solvable. We'll get into a little bit more of that in a little bit. Now, rather than go through every single patch note that's on here, because there's a lot of them, we'll touch base with a lot of the important ones. Some moves didn't get hit nearly enough, some moves got ignored, and then other moves got pretty decent whiff recovery. So we'll cover all the really big ones right now. Arya, the jab, got like 1 frame. This is not nearly enough. The jab is just really strong and really punishable. What you see a lot of Aryas do is just dodge away and then do jab 1 into a true combo on like a dagger or something. So that needs to be more. Down air and up special. This is a good start with them. We'll see how this plays out. I don't imagine 5 frames is going to be enough because that's really only 1/12 of a second. 5/60ths or 1/12 of a second. So a lot of people aren't even going to be able to notice the change here. Batman, speed went down. This isn't going to change much, and he's just still way too fast. A couple of weakness changes here on Batman. Like, I know Batarang doesn't provide weaken anymore unless you run the perk, so that's a pretty significant nerf. Weaken, even 1 stack of it, is pretty substantial, but it's not really gonna change too much about Batman. Like, a lot of this, it's a good start just to see like where it's at. I'd rather have not enough whiff lag than too much whiff lag. So this is a good step in the right direction. I think overall the patch is a pretty good step in the right direction. Finn has some pretty significant changes. Ground neutral attack, this one's pretty decent. 11 frames is definitely noticeable. It's almost 1/6 of a second, right? You can definitely feel the difference on this one. You can't just spam it. This is the big change on Finn right here. Finn will no longer be able to just camp apple. With 2 ammo on a 10-second recharge, it's exactly what this says, is to prevent extremely passive play by constantly throwing unlimited apples. Gem still only costs 100, so we'll see what the changes, how it changes. Probably didn't need this buff on the projectile blocking shield. Harley got some pretty interesting changes here. Basic thing here is that the shoulder hitbox is removed on jab 1, so when she does her down swing, it won't hit all the way back here. That's a pretty good change. The big hammer swing got 2 things done to it. 1, it has more recovery whiff frames, so if you whiff it, it's easily more punishable now by 8 frames. That's pretty significant, but that is like the number 1 of the top 2 moves that Harley players at the top level spam. So this is a good way to prevent really gross blame Harley gameplay. And then the hit cancel window moved back by 2 frames. This is a questionable change. We'll see how this works in the meta. Basically, this just makes it so after hitting Nair, she's going to be more easily able to combo into other things. Jake really didn't get too much. All this really means is that he has to read the DI more now. The problem with Jake is that his combos are so easy and so fluid. Like he can just up special you with sticky and send you up with his big up air hitbox. This is laughable. One of the top like 2 worst changes in this patch right here. The 2 frames on air side attack, it's not going to cut it. That move is spammable. It's one of the safest moves in the video game. It's going to need more. LeBron whiff didn't really change too much either. Like 3 frames here, 6 frames, 5 frames. This is a land cancel. Land canceling is just when you up special or something and you use the ground to cancel your end lag. It's just what the window of that is. So this one got pushed back 5 frames. So it's going to take you 5 frames longer than normal to do your dare and cancel it with the ground. Now we're going to get to the biggest section of the patch notes. Marvin got a, look at this. Do you see how long that is? That's mostly Marvin buffs. So let's go over the big ones. We won't go over this whole list. Weight buff, This is funny. This one right here is really funny. The crouching walk speed up by 650 units. His teabag is literally S++ tier right now. He can move and teabag. He goes tonk 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 tonk. It's great. It's really funny. But other than that, a lot of these are kind of minuscule. Sayer is the big thing that got upgraded here. The Sayer had a bad bug where sometimes you just wouldn't be able to use a move after it. That's what this bug is referring to. That's the biggest thing Marvin could have got right now, is that he desperately needed that bug fix, and he got it. Hitbox got a little bit bigger on that move, and some other moves on Marvin got buffed and things like the flag. This shouldn't affect his place too much in the meta, just because those top 6, you know, Harley, Wonder Woman, Batman, Arya, Stripe, all those kinds of characters are still going to be god tier compared to Marvin, but this is a step in the right direction for him. They're doing a really good job on they just need to bring down those characters. None of this matters for Morty. He's still going to be a god tier character, especially in doubles. The dare not being able to stall, it's so minuscule. It's very, very slight. It's not going to change the Morty's game plan at all. He's still going to be cracked out of his mind. He literally has no weakness. We could get into a whole video about why I hate Morty, but we'll talk. That's for another time. Rain Dog had some pretty big ones here, like on up air and up attack, which is just the little shoo 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 move. The problem with this is that he can still land cancel it, so he can just and it's pretty uncontestable. He can just keep spamming his up attack, his grounded up attack, to do that. Shaggy got pretty minuscule changes here. Shaggy's probably still going to be equally as crazy. This is going to be almost nothing. This is still insane. I really wish Sandwich did take the charge, because it is such an OP move. It has a butt ton of knockback. Steven Universe stuff doesn't really matter too much. This move is still way too quick. This is supposed to be his air up special, where he puts the shield above his head. It's a good start, but these moves still come out really fast. The bigger problem with a lot of these moves that are getting the whiff leg changes isn't necessarily the whiff frames, it's the power behind them. Up special and up attack on Steven are really good. They have so much knockback. So this really isn't going to change like anything. Yeah, you read that right. The best move in the game got literally 1 frame. 1 singular 60th. 1/60th of a second on the biggest and one of the most deadly moves in the entire video game. The other things don't really matter as much, but this is an act against humanity. Air side attack for Stripe is so strong. I just wish this said like 10 or like 20 or literally like 50 frames. That move has way too much reward for literally 1 frame of risk. This character is just going to be really OP for a long time. Taz got some interesting ones. None of this is like a big issue. This is a pretty big thing for Marvin with the ability to remove the eating the spaceship. Other than that, he didn't really get too much. Like 3 frames here, 3 frames there aren't gonna drastically change anything. Velma up attack is the big one here. This is for this is just for jab 1, kind of evening out the jabs across the board. But this is kind of a big one. I wish it was more, because it's still very, very spammable. The up attack, her up attack, both aerial and grounded, is the light bulb. It's still a really good move. The bug right here just basically means, combined with this whiff recovery of 5 frames on the up attack of the up air, you could just dodge cancel it way earlier, so it's evening it out. It's pushing both the dodge window and the attack window after that move back 5 frames or whatever it is. The up special is still really spammable if you do the same Rain Dog idea with the pushing, pushing. So the 8 frames doesn't really matter too much either. So for the meta of this game, nothing's really going to change too much with this patch. It is a step in the right direction. We need these moves to be more committal, especially if they have drift or are super safe. That's really going to take away from the fun gameplay that we can have in Multiversus. So this patch does do a good first step. It's a good first pass on doing it, but a lot of moves didn't get hit, like Stripe Fair. We just got to keep providing our feedback and letting the devs know what we need to be changed, what needs to be fixed, etc, etc. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I would love to hear from you guys. Let's have a good discussion about this. Make sure to subscribe and like and all of that fun stuff, and I will see you in the next Multiversus video. Peace out, everybody.